Gary, let's take a moment and say thank you to our sponsors at Fuji Sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've been working with us for a very long time, not only on this podcast, but also at the Academy. And I'm taking a peek at their website right now, and they have a brand new ultra light gi. Now, this is mind-blowing. I'm looking at my size. A2 is 2.75 pounds. I mean, that's under 3 pounds. That's mind-blowing.
I could even lift that. And go to their website, fujisports.com. Check it out. Anything you could need for your jiu-jitsu journey, you can find at fujisports.com.
Hey, it's been a while since we started Roll TV Project.
It's been a while since you started it. I did come in later, and I can't say enough about it, especially the new platform. It's really amazing, fully customizable, and you know a little bit more about the structure.
Well, so two things you need to know. One is the subscription service, which is $9 a month. You can get access to hundreds of videos, hundreds of drills, techniques, and so on in a very nice library categorized as you need them. But two, different lessons. You can actually purchase those individually and you own them. So the subscription is not tied to it at all. You can look at things like spider guard, half guard sweeps, half guard chokes, folding pass, and so on. There's so many of them out there. So take a look and see where you need help with the videos, right? 30% if you type in Roll Radio as a code.
Who doesn't like saving money? Go to rollacademy.tv. What's up, everyone, and welcome back. If you haven't already, please remember to hit the like, share, subscribe, download, listen, and whatever other button there is, and leave us a review wherever you do listen. That ensures that we can continue bringing you the great guests and amazing content you have come to expect. Today's guest has done it all in the world of MMA and grappling. His journey started in judo, and he soon moved on to wrestling, Lute-Livre, MMA, kickboxing, and combat jiu jitsu. Jay-Z Cavalcante joins us and shares that incredible journey, why he loves combat jiu jitsu, his love for teaching, and how he overcomes fear. Here's the Roll Radio with a 3-time MMA world champion, 2-time K1 Heroes Tournament champion, a former Strikeforce fighter, Lute-Livre black belt, and BJJ black belt, Jay-Z Cavalcante.
Welcome to Roll Radio.
Hey, Gary, we're live.
We are. Here we go again.
Hey.
Real quick before we get started, Tap Cancer Out. So the charity tournament series is back and heading to more cities across the U.S. with stops in Austin. Chicago's next month, Jacksonville, Philadelphia, Boston, and a few more. They are looking to donate another $1.2 million to its 10 beneficiary organizations. Fundraising and registration for all the events are open. So go to www.tapcancerout.org/tournaments to find your city and sign up. They're doing amazing things. John is running a really great show over there.
Yeah, I mean, John is blowing things out of the park, you know, as he always does. We had him on the show a while back. I was actually trying, as you were talking, I was trying to look up exactly which episode it was. Ooh, episode number 25.
Yeah, it was early, huh?
Man, that was early on. It was like over a year ago.
Yes.
We should bring John back and just have a conversation how things are going.
Sure. I bet he's a little busy right now.
Yeah. Well, shout out to John. Yeah. John, if you're listening, great work. We're sitting in the sidelines and watching the phenomenal impact on the community.
And we'll see you in Chicago next month.
Yeah, and we'll see you in Chicago next month. All right. Well, let's talk jiu-jitsu. Let's spin this a little bit different today.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah. We're gonna do a little combat jiu-jitsu. Little combat jiu-jitsu.
We're not doing it.
Jay-Z, how are you?
I'm doing great, man.
Let's get right into it. Right before we start recording, we start chatting about combat jiu-jitsu. If you're listening to this, you don't know what combat jiu-jitsu is. It's probably as raw as it gets, right? You compare it to Vale Tudo, old school way back from the day. Paint a picture for us. What is combat jiu-jitsu in your mind?
Thanks. First, thank you guys for bringing me in. Thanks, Tom and Gary. Glad to be here. And combat jiu-jitsu, it's like a grappling when you do the ground, like a standing up. There is no striking, but on the ground, slaps are allowed. So that you can use slaps, like you can strike with the hands, you know.
So there's no close fist. But
No close fist,
we are
no
just
no kicks, no elbows, like a but
we just
just like a
bitch slap
hands,
each other.
hands. You know, it's more fun than those events in Russia that they slap the face. You know?
Yes, I've seen those. Where you look,
So
they look.
combat jiu-jitsu way more nice, you know. We get the guys from the CES MMA. That's a good event, and they are on the UFC Fight Pass. So they were looking to bring some of the guys to compete, you know, old school guys. Like I'm considered old school now. I'm kind of getting old, but not really want to get
I, f-
accept that.
I feel like today anybody who is older than 30 is old school. People call me old school. I don't
You
know.
are old school. You are.
So so they brought it in, me and John Howard, to do a combat jiu-jitsu, combat grappling match. That was super fun, you know. And I love it. Like lately, on the last couple 3 or 4 years, I've been focused more on grappling, and advocating more to bring grappling to a bigger picture. You know, I'm so happy. Also, this weekend they're gonna have the ADCC, and the production's looking good. Um, Mo is promoting that. You know, I think Saf, the guy from Fight to Win, helping the production. So it's amazing to see the magnitude that's coming. It's bringing, you know, and that's my first passion. So I love to see grappling growing and evolving and being more in the highest level for the people, you know.
Yeah. So go back a little bit to that combat jiu-jitsu because I'm actually curious. And I know what you mean about the Russian stuff. Like, you know, hold on. Before I ask you that question, have you seen those Russian events where it's like 6-on-6? And then anytime, no, listen, it's like anytime one guy gets submitted, then it's 5-on-6. And there's 4-on-6, and there's like 6-on-1. It's insane. That's like, what? But what is so fun about the combat jiu-jitsu? Because I think jiu-jitsu itself is fun. But you like you were smiling. There was clearly a passion behind it. What makes it so fun when you are able to actually engage in you know some kind of striking, not necessarily only control and submission?
Did you ever slap somebody in the face?
All right, let's leave it at that. Okay, fair enough.
And that's you know, because like you can knock people out, you know.
Oh,
with the slaps. Like I had one of the events, like we run out of the edge, but things was getting like bad, you know. And having Wagner Rocha, one of my teammates, a great friend. He like I think he was one of the first one to TKO on the combat grappling as well, you know. So it's nice, you know. For me, I'm gonna tell you the story here. Like my first training, our MMA. I was Vale Tudo schools. Like I saw UFC, that story, and then I came to the gym, I trained, and then the coach line us up, and he slapped in the face. Like one guy came to one side, and the other coach, the other trainer came to the other side and slapped in the face. And man, like I was a kid, you know. And then he said something that always kept in my mind. If you cannot have the emotional control just because somebody slap you, how do you think you can really fight if somebody really gonna punch you in the face?
Oh wow, I never thought about it that way. Gary,
I was like,
Gary,
yeah.
turn around.
We'll see.
So how old were you when all of this started? When was the first? Do you remember your first day on the mat?
Yeah, it's impossible for not the first day on the mat because I started like 4 years old in Judo.
Okay.
And yeah, so I don't really remember.
That's
remember anything.
That's back in Brazil.
Yeah, back in Brazil.
Okay.
So my parents took me there because I was active. I was like fighting. Even that young, I was always grabbing people, watching cartoons that was like fighting stuff. So they thought, man, this kid has a lot of energy, and he seems like he has a passion for this. So my parents were really smart because back in the days, nobody really knew martial arts the way it's popular today, right? They really knew like a karate, judo, and that was they thought about it and say, look, if they want to do this, he has a lot of energy. Why not let him do this, but with the discipline? Let's look for something that somebody like a martial art and a coach that can be very disciplined and can put him to spend his energy. So he's gonna be happy doing that stuff. And then after he's like just know where and what time to do those kind of stuff. And that's how it started for me. You know, that's how I was 4 years old. With 6 years old, I was already competing. They call the diapers divisions. Yeah, you know, like back in the day, you know, at that age, like wasn't like a winner. Both guys go get the hand raised,
Yeah.
you know, and just introduction.
But that's judo. That's judo,
That's
right?
judo.
When
Yes,
did
that's
jiu-jitsu
judo.
when does jiu-jitsu start?
Jiu-jitsu start later. Actually, I'm from Luta-Livre.
Okay.
I'm a Lute-Livre. Yeah, I'm a Lute-Livre. That's another Brazilian
Yeah.
martial art. You know, most people in America don't really know if they don't follow as long, but it's another grappling style from Brazil, and it has a lot of base from catch wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the foundation. And when I start training grappling, like on the ground, was from Luta-Livre, and I was 13, so it was 90 something. Was like a year after the UFC. The same story. I watched the UFC. I was tired of judo. I was 13. I was tired of judo because I came from a suburb in Brazil, but suburbs in Brazil is different than here in America. That suburb is a nice area. In Brazil, you're far away of everything. It's like not much money.
Yeah.
It's not ghetto, but like not the favelas, but it's rougher,
Yeah.
you know. And and I was trying to compete in judo, so I was going against like a higher level guys from the nice area, from the nice clubs. And I remember one tournament that I beat, I was the champion. And then after I received my first letter on the mail, was an invitation because I classified to compete in France. When I came here, like was the first letter I came, I gave it to my mother. She started choking, and she was reading, and like she knew you had no money to send me there, you know, because like we have to pay for a lot of stuff. So she started choking, and then I was like, oh shit, you know. And the guy that I beat, which was from a nice club, you know, like a more wealthy uh, family, a wealthy area, he made it to the tournament. And after that, I kind of, fuck, you know, I cannot progress. I cannot go up on these if it's that situation because of financial stuff.
So
And then it's not like
was that a reason why you shifted away from judo towards Lute-Livre and then towards jiu-jitsu?
yeah, like I felt like like I felt dismotivated, you know, that because at first, like, that was the first letter I ever received, you know, with my name on it. So I was very like, I won the tournament. I was so excited. Then I received my first letter, you know, back in Brazil. They say they put it on the wall, through the wall, and they get it. Oh, it has my name on it, you know. Like I was so happy, and then I was really, really looking to go compete, especially in another country. And
it didn't happen.
after that, kind of.
So what happens after? So what happens after this? Do you
really
stop?
Thinking, I wasn't really thinking.
But do you
No, I
stop,
kept
or do you
training a little
just
bit.
do you find something? Do you find it differently?
So I start keep doing it for a little bit, and then at the time in Brazil, capoeira was like getting popular.
Yeah.
You know, and then I start playing around capoeira, and capoeira is fun because people play on the streets. You don't need like just a gym. You have a bunch of guys that get together and somebody teach, and then it's more like a street stuff back in was at least at that time. So I started doing a little bit of that, and then I have a close gym at my house in my neighborhood. That was a kickboxing gym. And then I said, oh, let me go there. And then I started doing a little striking. At the same time, I was doing judo. And then after that, I saw the UFC. And I was like, man, that's great. That's something I really want to do. It. You know, that seems fun. And I had a little bit of experience with grappling, and I was doing a little bit of the striking. And then I started looking for for a gym. Back in the day, it was Vale Tudo. And then I was looking for a gym that has Vale Tudo. And then I found one of the gyms, Equipe Sensei. There was a Vale Tudo gym, but they were based from Luta-Livre. And Luta-Livre also back in the day was divided in two styles. The Luta-Livre Esportiva, which is just the grappling, and Luta-Livre Vale Tudo, which was everything, no holds barred. And that's when I started, you know. And that was going into my first day at that gym. I walk in, I was studying. I used to study in the afternoon. I skipped like two classes because I want to be on time to the training. So don't listen to this and try to copy. But I skipped school. I jumped the gates to go find the training. So I was walking, trying to find the place. The gym was in a garage inside of the house. Was terrible to find, like no signs, anything. And I was looking, and then somebody told, "No, it's there." Okay, I found the gym, and I come in, and then I was, oh, and the guy, because my school was very fun with the uniform, has like a tie, like a shirt up tight here, like a social pants, shoes, and that's the clothes that I had. And then the guy looked at me, "Hey, what's up? What do you want?" I say, "Oh, I want to fight. I want to fight Vale Tudo." Oh, and then he kind of laughed, like shook me off.
Yeah.
"Oh, really? Okay, come in." And then I come in, and then I walk, and I see a guy with the singlets and the wrestling shoes, and punching on the bag with the gloves. And I look at that like a big guy. That was Renato Babalu, Renato Sodom,
No way.
back in the day. Uh, and then I look at him, I'll say, man, with some of the tattoos already, he didn't have a bunch of tattoos, but had some of the tattoos and all that. And then the coach asked me, "Hey, have you have any experience with martial arts? So you want to do Vale Tudo? So you have any experience?" I say, yeah, I train in judo. He shook, "You a pussy." Because he also was a black belt in judo, but people almost like kicking him out of judo because he was always challenging, asking people to do Vale Tudo. You know, he wants to train. He trained with the gi, so he trained the top, the gi off the top part of the gi, and he want to do like a grappling and also Vale Tudo. And most of the guys like would be on judo in Brazil, at least they like most of the guys would be like, no, they were scared, especially because judo is
Olympic sport.
Olympic sport. You know, they are so it's different. You know, they are like the elite for the sports, like in Brazil as well. And like so he started like shaking me off like that, and then I told him, "Oh, I did a little bit of kickboxing." And then he was like, "Oh, please don't tell me if this guy," because it was another guy. Like people make a joke of him. He was good, but people would make a joke of him, you know, because the guy talks so much. And I say, "No, I trained with another guy." And then, "Okay, guy, you have a mouthpiece?" I say, yes, I do." "Okay, let's go." And then we trained, we did the warm up, technique. They found somebody on my weight. I was young, you know, I was 13 to 14. He found somebody was smaller. And then I said, "Okay, so put your mouthpiece on it. Let's go." Bang. Just like that. My first day, first class ever.
Wait a
Full
minute.
of-
Did you have like shorts or t-shirt or
Yeah, you're
like?
still wearing your-
Oh, you still?
Yeah, I
Oh.
took. No, I had the shorts. I was planning. I planned
Oh, you
myself to
planned.
go to the gym
I
to
would-
train.
Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still envision him in his school
you
uniform.
in his
yeah.
school uniform.
No, I was in the school uniform, but I took like I
Yeah.
had planned it. That's why I skipped school. I skipped the couple
ready to
classes,
go.
but I have everything. I was ready. That's why I had my mouthpiece. That's why I had my shorts. You know.
So what
So I just
happened?
changed.
So what happened that first day? Are
No,
you?
I get
Does it
like
go good or not so really?
was good. Was good. Actually, it was good. It was like a full sparring, like a no punches, but like with the slaps, like I used to. That's why I was saying like a combat grappling is fun for me because that brings me memories of on a young, you know. And then I trained, and I was talking about this if people listen to me before, and then Babalu look at the coach. hey, Corval, huh? The kid is tough, huh?
Nice.
And he smiled, like a smirk.
That's a big
Like,
that's a big motivation for you. You're 13 years old. That's like, oh,
exactly. Yeah, I got it. I was this.
Yeah.
And then I got the respect from them, like
Yeah.
right there, I kind of got the respect for them. So that was that was fun.
So I mean, looking at this as a big picture, your entire life, you trained multiple martial arts. It's not just one, but there's a lot of striking in there. There's, obviously some ground stuff. You're talking about stand up, more formal judo and some of the less formal, even wrestling and grappling and so on. If you had to narrow it down, I'm going to put you on a spot here. If you had to narrow it down, where is the most efficient area? What benefited you the most out of them all? What brought you the most success? What skills are you using today the most?
The grappling, the Luta-Livre for me is the most beneficial because there is no artifacts, no special clothes, no special weapons, anything, Where like a Luta-Livre, if you translate, means free fight. But it's not free because you can do anything. It's free because you don't have any special gear, It's just like people back in the days used to go like with the Spiros, like the Sunga, Brazilian style, and that's it. And that's it. And go. So that I think it's more real. That's why it's a free fight, it's more real. And then you learn how to control the person, even if they're sweat, how to slide, that's and to control, to get a good position, to be able to submit somebody, to be able to manhandle somebody. That's the most beneficial for me.
So for those who don't know what you're talking about, is that similar to no-gi grappling that we see like at ADCC this weekend?
Yeah, it's the ADCC. Basically, it's the ADCC that's happened this weekend. One thing that I was talking about, like if you go and talk to the old school guys from Jiu Jitsu, they're always going to say there is no thing such as a no gi. Even Carlos Gracie once said, I wish I had this interview, I couldn't find it, because he said, Jiu Jitsu without a gi can be anything but Jiu Jitsu, Because back in the days, what was the difference between Jiu Jitsu and Luta-Livre was just the gi, and some of the techniques. But also like a leg locks, like Luta-Livre guys were always good on leg locks. And one of the reasons that some of the Jiu-Jitsu techniques, the leg locks was banned, was also from some of the Luta-Livre guys who'd go in tournaments and just getting people's leg, and then become all the story like, oh, that's more dangerous, this and that. But that's some of the truth is also that the Luta-Livre guys would go, because Jiu-Jitsu has more tournaments in Brazil. They were more organized. There was always more people. Jiu-Jitsu was for the wealth people in Brazil. The Luta-Livre was like the poor cousin, from grappling. That has no money. People had no money to buy the gi. That has no money to pay the fees, and they would just go and train without anything. And that's why it developed a lot in the, like I said, not gyros, but like that's like the gyros on the suburbs. That's the more developed than was in the mainstream.
Yeah. Is Luta-Livre still popular in Brazil today as a sport?
Yes. Yes. It's still popular. And I believe it now going to start picking up way more, because ADCC is becoming like a no-gi in America, start becoming more popular. And for some reason, everything that comes to America goes to Brazil, gets more popular there. Even there, my coach used to say, like, one day ADCC started, he was like advocating for everybody, for the Luta-Livre to get united and develop more the team, develop more the sport, promote more, do more stuff together, because the ADCC is exactly what Luta-Livre is. All techniques allowed, all leg locks, cervicals, anything, And my coach was big on that. But the rivalry, not just the rivalry between the teams, but the ego, oh, no, I want to do this way. one part of the one team want to do this way. No, the other team want to do that way. So we had like two different federations at the time. They didn't compete each other. I said, man. And then later on, like now, if we had organized back in the days, today would be completely different.
If you had to look at both of the sports, jiu-jitsu and Luta-Livre, why do you think jiu-jitsu has grown more? Why? What do
Because
you
of the structure. Like I said, they're like if you see the Gracies, they were always so good marketing. It's all the marketing. Like for sure, the technique is good. Don't take me wrong. Like they're great. One of the best sports, the best sport. But how they market and how they organize, how they put the system to run, that's what makes them huge. Because they knew they have a good product. As soon as they have the good product, they start marketing on top of that, and that's why I believe they have the money. They always get. They was always associated with the wealthy families in Brazil. They the Gracies even thought some of the presidents in Brazil. You know what I mean? So at the same time, Luta-Livre guys was like in the ghettos trying to hustle, even just to get the money to eat, just to get a little place that they could train. So I think the popularity, the number of people involved in jiu-jitsu, that's what makes them more successful. Also, for sure, the structure that they have.
Yeah. If you had to describe your typical training at that gym when you are in your early teens and you're growing up into a young adult, what would it look like? Like a lot of people in the US, I think, a lot of our listeners, they might not be familiar with Luta-Livre is, period. But even if they look at it at, no-gi grappling or just grappling in general, I feel like what you've experienced, and we are talking about 20 plus years ago, is very different than what we see it today. Talk to me. Tell me what your typical training day looked like back then.
It was just was more rough, even like we start with the mats. The mats back in judo mats was the tarp, but was like the green, the burn your skin out, you slide on the mat, your skin would come out.
It was like a fabric, right? It was like a fabric, right?
Yeah, it's like a fabric, exactly, like a tough fabric. That was the training I have, and the place that we trained was very small, I don't know much the feet, but was like a very small. Wasn't a garage, like a very small garage. They have some of the wall pads, but we have like a pillar right in the middle that sometimes we hit that, bang on that, But that's what we had, and we all hard. We put it together, get a group of guys that really want to fight, that really go there and give everything that they could. It has a lot of stuff today that I look back, I say, no, man, that's not right. That shouldn't be this way. But that's what brought us here. Even brought me here. I would never tell somebody to come and spar like I did on the first class.
It sounds like a rough day.
Did that build character though? Do you think it? I mean,
no, for sure.
For the guys that could hang, right? The guys that could stick with it.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. You separate from the beginning. Like when they used to do this, like I'm talking about the business. If I want to just create a fighter, like just a fight team, okay, let's go. Come here. Let's show me what you got. Let me see your instincts. I love to do that in training with the kids. Okay, they don't know the technique, and I tell them, okay, let me see you rolling. Fight this guy. You cannot punch, you cannot kick, but you have to grab him, you have to pass the guard, you have to control him, you have to hold him down. I tell this to kids, and I like to see how they go, because kids are so simple. If you tell the guy, okay, you have to pass his guard, he finds a way to, not everyone, because that's when comes the personality. Some kids, they are encouraged, how they are raised, like they have confidence, they're gonna be there. I told this one kid, and he come and he jump over the legs to pass the guard. Like this kid, man, that's
Yeah.
cool. That was so simple. Oh, coach, gotta pass the leg. Okay, wow, he jumped. I
Yeah.
was like, that's nice, that's the attitude. So from the beginning, you can see that guy has attitude. He has like a confidence in himself, what he can do. All the kids that you're gonna tell him, oh, okay, let's go. So fight. And they go like,
Yeah.
they freeze. They don't know exactly what to do. So as soon as I start training those kind of kids, I know I have to take them away, prepare their mind, give them confidence, give them a structure, because those are structure kids oriented. They have to have a structure to follow the rules, follow the steps. And some kids are more wild, and then you just give them the technique, but they have the attitude already. So you just push on that. So that for sure builds character, builds a lot of personality on you. Especially if you have a heart for fight. That's so important, man. That's so important.
Do you think kids are easier to train or adults?
For me, kids are easier to train
Why?
because because if you have a kid that's interested, he gonna do it. Like most of the time they don't doubt themselves, they don't question, they don't choke up, they don't overthink the stuff. If you have a kid, most of the kids they don't overthink.
Why do
They're gonna be more actually do it.
Why do you think
But
adults
like
overthink it?
because they don't have that much of experience, uh, that much of failure experiences in life. Oh, if I do this can happen. The hard part to bring somebody that adult coming to the gym, they are so scared to get beat up. They are so scared that something gonna happen to them. Like, bro, if you come to the gym, you're gonna learn how to fight. You're not gonna fight. And the first day at least, like I did, you're gonna learn how to fight. You're gonna get structure. So, but they were always thinking, oh, we're gonna get beat up like this. Oh, if this happen, I cannot work the next day. I say, no, you're not doing this. Wait, you're gonna have a time for you to get there. If you want to fight, if you want to be competing, if you want to spar, you know. But that's what they think. They overthink so much. And kids are simple. You tell them something. If they have if especially if you can connect with them, if you have a connection with them, it's easier. It's easier to teach them.
What do you think is the hardest thing for an adult when they are starting?
For this, when they're starting,
Yeah.
uh, overcome be humble. You can get a kid like a teenager that can come and choke you out, hold you down, and make you look like
That's
like a
true.
baby. Oh, you're my baby. Wrap you around, and then you're like, and you think like, oh, I'm a grown man. I have man's power, and then gonna help. Okay, I used to have because she's pregnant now, but my wife also trained, but also she's also pregnant. But I also had another student. She's a lawyer, but she's tiny, like a 120 pounds, but she's strong as well. And she was like a blue belt. And a lot of guys that come first training, they act like, guys come in like this. I will go, I do the technique, and I would be like, okay, do this specific training for her. Like, no, go for her, they will be fine. And I see guys like a man, like you see, like, they get so mad. So that humility, you gotta be humble that somebody smaller than you can hold you down. Like to overcome that, I think is a struggle for the most adults.
Have you ever found yourself in that situation where you think you should be winning and it's like they're just so much better than you. It's like that no matter what you do, they are just have you captured.
Uh-huh. Actually I had one training that I don't know tell names because it was back and forth, but I had one train that I was going to train, and then was a UFC veteran. Bro, this guy he took me down, hold me down, passed my guard, mount. I couldn't move, and I was so I was like, holy shit, what's happening? You know. But and then the next day, I did the same thing to him, but I for some reason I don't know, it was because of the game, we have such a similar style that whoever picked up the pace faster, whoever put the game first was winning. So that's exactly what happened. But the first time I trained with him, I was like, holy shit. Like I felt like a white belt. I felt like a white belt. And then and then I put in my mindset okay, and then we train again, and then I was out of the bat I was started, and then okay, now I was my payback, and then I understood, okay, so now it's just because we have such a similar style of the game that whoever started and grabbed the first would be winning most of the time.
You've done some striking too, huh?
Yeah, like I said, I did most of almost everything. Uh,
So
I
what?
had one interesting story, like a striking.
Yeah.
I did when I was a teenager, I did a little bit of the kickboxing, but never really get into that much. I did a little bit, but my first professional kickboxing fight on K1
Mhm.
after I was the champion in the MMA, I fought Masato, which is a legend on the striking, one of the best ever on the weight class. And that was also interest. Everybody was like, "Oh man, gonna get knocked out so fast." And when Mayweather fought Conor, everybody was talking about people in Japan was like, "Oh, that's exactly how Jay-Z and Masato was." People were talking about a grappler who was fighting a striker, one of the best. And a lot of people in Japan was talking about that. And I have that fight. Everybody thought I was thinking I was gonna get knocked out so fast, like 2 minutes, and the fight ended up going to the distance. And I got the respect that I also want from Masato. After the fight, he came to me, oh, power, power, strong.
That has to feel good when you are the underdog in other
Yeah,
people's eyes, and you do well and even go beyond, and really things go according to your plan, and you can really kind of stand your ground and really prove how well you do what you do. It has to feel good, doesn't it?
yeah, for sure. And that's the thing I was saying. When you talk about building characters
Yeah.
with the training I had, look at what happened. I won the tournament in Japan. Sometimes they are sneaky, with the promotion stuff they want to do. They did a lot of crazy stuff, like in Pride
Yeah.
in that era. You see so many matches that was crazy. So what happened was I won the tournament, and then I went to the pros conference. The reporters asked, "Oh, so do you also follow K1 Max?" I say yes, for sure. I like striking. It's the same company that I fight for, and I love striking. I love to watch. Guys are amazing. And he started asking, "Oh, who's your favorite fighters?" I said, "Oh, Andy Sauer, one of them. Bokal is really good. Masato." No, I didn't say Masato. I said some names. And then, oh, and the Japanese. Who do you like from Japan? I say Masato for sure. He's one of the best ever. He's the most accomplished fighter. Masato, there has another one, that's Sato. He's so long, strange guy. And then the reporter, oh, would you fight Masato? I say, yeah, I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter. Fighters fight. And then, and then the next day they put Jay-Z challenge Masato.
They set you up for that one.
All right, okay. And then after that, I was I said it right, okay. And then when they come up with they also, oh, what about the fight? I said, bro, I didn't challenge anything. I see what you guys doing, but that's fine. Let's do it. And then I did the fight. I have one coach, Wali Mohammed, that was the striking coach. He was a legend in kickboxing as well. He fought five. He's a five-time world champion. He also fought Masato at the end of his career, and he was like not hate him, but because like when they brought him to fight Masato was a similar story. You know, he was at the end of his career. He was trying to set him up to lose to make Masato even a bigger name. And then he used to like, oh, JZ, I know this guy. You're gonna get on his mind. You're gonna do this. And then he trained me like it was his fight, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why like, he cut a lot of corners for me. Like he was one of the best coaches that I ever had.
What was
I
he
did
there?
my striking for sure.
Was he there during the fight with Masato?
Yeah, for sure.
He was in your corner.
There. And like so like I did I remember I had the dreams, like I'm talking about I was training. Masato had such a good low kick, right? So all the training I have somebody kick like just go to kicking me, low kicks, low kicks, low kick. And he was a Belgian with a funny accent. He was a Morocco, but he lived in Belgium. But has a funny accent. Oh, JC, block, JC, block, like a blocking the low kicks. I remember I woke up one night, my leg was shaking, and I was dreaming with him. Block, JC, block. And I actually was like lifting my leg. I was like, damn it, bro. This guy. But I trained so much for that as well. And then one of the great accomplishments that I had on that fight was not just like getting the respect, but you guys know Ramon Deckers.
Mm-hmm.
The Ramon Decker is a legendary, striker, one of the best of all times that put the European on the spot because he went to Thailand and fought many guys there. After I came out of the fight, he knew my coach as well, so he stopped. Yo, so you're the first Brazilian who can kickbox. I can see that, like, man, that, like, just for him to say that, I was like, oh, that was legendary. That was legendary for me, you know. But I know I had all the Brazilians that can strike, like a Cosmo Alexander, who's a good friend of mine. Back in the days, Max was a couple other guys that would be good striker, but they didn't have the opportunity. You know, Brazil also special now it's more popular because of UFC. We got a lot of exposure with the fighting. But back in the days, not many Brazilians would get the opportunity, you know, to go out and travel and get even that they were good.
What do you think? So, like, I mean, we are talking about all this different fight styles, different organizations, and just even the evolution. But what do you think is the biggest difference between martial arts back then, like even in Japan or the early 90s when you are talking about it, versus today?
Like the reason behind fight was different, you know. Like back in the days, wasn't so much money involved. Like the fight, Luta-Livre and Jiu Jitsu was a rivalry, big rivalry between the two. You know, those two people would fight on the street. It was like a gang stuff. You know, people would see each other on the street, they would fight. You see Rickson Gracie and Hugo Duarte. If you never see that, it's not I know you guys, but like people who is listening, if you haven't seen that, go on the YouTube and look Luta-Livre versus Jiu Jitsu beach fight.
Yeah,
the guys would go on the beach and just start like they see each other, they start fighting. You know, that's no money involved, just the respect, just like the status, you know, just like okay. And the fun thing was like they would fight, whoever wins, walk away. The next day, if they have to fight again, they fight again. Establish the respect. If they don't have to fight, you just walk. Each one goes to your direction, you know. And that was great. That was a great. Also, was a good times. And then things started getting like a guns involved. When you start getting to that point, everything started getting messy. But before was more like a man thing, who like two men go there, fight, get the respect to each other, and that's it.
Have you had to defend respect on the beach?
No, on the beach, I did a lot of stuff. I also fought a lot on the like a it's kind of crazy, but I need to go. We have like a baile funk. Back in the days in Brazil, people would go to the nightclub just to fight, but organize a fight. One side against the other side. We have securities on the middle, so one side fight the other side, and sometimes they would call the mano a mano. And I love to do that. I would go and challenge people. The security come, they let two guys just be in the middle and just fight. So I did a lot of that just to represent my place, my neighborhood. It's crazy, but that was for fun in my era.
I feel like you have good stories and you're holding back. There's a lot of stuff that happen. What happens in the nightclub stays in the nightclub.
No, but if you guys look baile funk on YouTube, you're gonna find a bunch of stuff. Baile funk, corredor, fights on baile funk or something like that. It's interesting.
It's definitely interesting. Things have changed since then. Life is different.
For sure.
Yeah. So how do you? What changed it? What do you think has changed it from just guys out looking for respect and being able to walk away afterwards? Because it even seems like in professional fighting too, it's the same way, where it keeps going past just the fight, right? People are fighting backstage. People are fighting at press conferences. The last UFC event, they had to change the whole card up because people were fighting in the back. What changes it from that respect, that mutual respect, and takes it to that other level?
Fighting is the ultimate standard for the respect, because if you don't have guns, if you don't have other stuff, that's how you should solve stuff. Fighting, even if you win or if you lose, you establish the respect there. That's why it's so intriguing. Fighting is in our DNA. You cannot deny that. Mm-hmm. You see animals, all animals fight. We are animals. We have that in us. So as a man to man, when they fight, for some reason, sometimes most of my good friends back in the days were guys that I fought on the street, and then they become my best friend, because you said it's I don't know why, but that's for me, that's the respect that you establish the respect. Even guys that I beat up, they would come and try to fight me again, bro. I like you. You know what I mean? That's the feeling in me.
Even though
I don't like you, I want to try to beat you again, but I respect that.
Right, they're earning your respect through
different than they. Sorry?
They're earning your respect by showing up again, right?
By showing up again, they earn the respect, So instead of the guys that just walk away and just try to do stuff from behind, that's it's weird, you said the bond. You see fighters, we fight, we don't have anger against each other, But after the fight, we go, we talk. Hey, it's all good, man. Nice. It was good fight. Me and John Howard now on the Combat Grappling was just like that. We have so much fun going into the fight, and after the fight, just talking, smiling, talking each other, hanging out. That's the respect that you create, you generate. The physical, the mental. I think everything gets involved.
I love it. I mean, if you think about it, two guys trying to inflict pressure and their own will against the other one, and then yet once everything is over, they can settle down, they can shake hands, they can show the respect. I mean, that's the beauty behind this art. There's beauty behind the sport. That's the beautiful part. Listen, Jay-Z, we've been at it for a while. One of the things that we do on every episode with every single guest, we had this little game. A guest who was here before you asked a question, and he had no idea that you will be our next guest. And he asked that question. Gary's going to ask you that question. He's going to send that question to you, and let's take a look where this is going to take us. Gary?
Yeah, so Liam Wandi, the part-time grappler, was here last, and he wants to know.
Who was it?
Liam Wandi. He's a part-time grappler blog. He's a writer, author, jiu-jitsu black belt, and he wanted to know, not knowing it was you, what has completely changed your mind during your grappling journey? So what have you maybe learned most, or something, a preconceived notion that you had that completely changed as you've gone through your journey?
Okay. One thing I talk about is the confidence that I have. And I just figured out that after when I had like a knowledge of who I am, even that we don't really know, I still don't really know who I am completely, but that's, but because like I said, I started training so young, and I started competing so young that for me it was become natural to go and fight and challenge, So if you tell me, oh, I want to do this, let's do it. I go. I don't second guess, I don't doubt as much. I just take it and I go, because that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
I have competed so much since a young age that if I win or I lose, but that's also because of the support that I have with my family and my team, my coaches, So I was like, okay, if something went bad, I go back at it again. So that gave me confidence in my life to do anything, to stand in front of anybody, to do most of the stuff I do in my life, And that's one thing that I realized after, when I was okay, I had a student that was, when I was 19 years old, I was already start teaching. And this woman, she was like a 20 something, 25, like a mid 20s. So I was younger than her, so more like young. And then she come to me, Jay-Z, you changed my life. I say, how? We have a couple classes, training a little bit. No, I crossed the street with the car. And then I say, yes, I drive size 15. My parents were like, they drive. And so for me, it was like nothing. I do drive. No, because back in the day, like before, I couldn't cross the street if it was the cross line on the street. She couldn't go if it was any car coming. The street has to be completely empty for her to be able to cross the street with the car. Imagine how many people honk on this girl, flip her off, And when she was telling me that, and I was like, holy shit, I didn't even know that exists. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, it was like, okay, get in the car, put it and drive. Like I have no doubt, I have no insecurity doing those stuff, And then I start realizing how much insecurity other people have, how afraid they were of failure and stuff like that. And I think also how afraid they were to be successful as well, because that's what fighting give you, you're not afraid to lose, but because you want to win, makes you more I want to do this. Fighting for me was oh, I want to win so good that overcomes the bad part of it, So for me, that's one thing that grappling gave me, was the security, the ability to be confident on myself.
Have you ever had that fear that other people have been hindered by? So you fought all over, different styles.
Mm-hmm.
Has there ever been one of those fights where maybe you got in your own head and that fear that holds a lot of people back finally got to you a little bit and you weren't maybe as successful?
Look, the fear always going to be there. They come. Mm-hmm. It's the ability for you to control, not control, but because you don't really control the emotions, right? you dominate the emotion. That's the better word, I believe. Because control, it's like when you go, oh, I want to go left, I'm gonna be happy, I'm gonna turn it left. No, I'm not going today. I want to be angry, I'm gonna turn it right. No, you don't have the ability. You know, sometimes you just come and then you're there, but you can dominate the emotion. You know, when that fear, some fear comes or some anxiety comes, you can dominate that fear. Okay, look, it's okay. You're here, but I know what I'm capable of. You know, like I put in my mind, I know what I've been training, what I've been doing. Whatever happens, happens. So it's the domination like that makes me go and put it together, you know, go and fight. Even that overcome the fears. No, it's no problem.
Which fight did you have to control that fear the most? What was the toughest, like just the toughest event that you've done?
I wasn't the top. It's not because of the event. For me, I think the worst one was coming back from injury. That was already in my mind, you know. Like I fought my Aoki, with injured knee already the first time, and the fight was a no contest. And then I went to the second fight, and then I re-injured, and then I have to go back again. On my next fight after the surgery, ACL took me like almost a year to recover. I come back to fight Kawajiri, and that fight wasn't the was the fear, but the anxiety to perform and to be back on top. You know, that was the feeling for me was more like a more the anxiety, like to come back on top. I want to do this. I have to do this, and that's what I have to go against. And on the back of my mind, I was a little bit afraid of danger. Was holding me back a little bit more, you know.
So do you
So
think,
that's a
what do you think is harder then? What do you think is more difficult? Having the fear of your opponent or have a fear of yourself?
no. I never had the fear of the opponent. You know, that's never that's something like a no. We're humans. Yeah, humans will go there. We can do it. You know, it's a fight. I know it's not the yeah, it's not a street fight that really can die. It's not like you're in the jungle that you're fighting a
Yeah.
bear. You know, the risk factor is there, but it's not. I know at the end of the day, it's fine. It's just a competition. You
Yeah.
know, I want to talk about competing and fighting somebody as a sport, but the anger, like the fear of myself, it's way worse. I have one fight that and I fought Josh Thompson. The worst nightmare I had. I was thinking that I could not be thinking because on the second round I was thinking a lot during the fight. Oh, I want to do this. Why I didn't finish? Because on the first round I almost knocked him out, and then I almost submitted him. The second round come, I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna knock him out. But fuck, why I didn't finish the guillotine on the first round? Why I do this? So I was in my mind, I was thinking a lot, and then at the same time I was thinking, my second voice would go, "You shouldn't be thinking. Stop thinking. Don't think. You shouldn't be thinking." Was a trap, you know. I passed the whole second round thinking I shouldn't be thinking. The third round is thinking I should be thinking, and then in the half of the third round, it's kind of no what fuck it, and then I just start swinging, going forward, you know, so it was better, and then I let it go. But that was the fear for me. It's mostly like with myself.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I mean, it's just like I'm listening to these stories, and this is just mind blowing.
I say you gotta get it out. You gotta get out of your own head, right?
Yeah,
I think that's no matter what you're doing, whether you're fighting professionally, whether you're on the mats here at an academy, or going to work
Everywhere. Like just now, like we are here talking, you know, it's a lot of times like you have that second voice on your mind, you know. Actually, this weekend on the Combat Jiu Jitsu fight, I talked this already, two of the classes that I had, and I with the pro fighters because I also have MMA team that I coach. So I always give, like, when I compete, I always give my insights to them. And I won the fight, and the event of the CS MMA posted the picture. I'm like this, the hand raised, and my face was like, bro. And when I saw the picture, I was like, the fucking evil. It's talking on my mind again. It's taking away the moment, because it was taking away the moment. I won the fight, just because I create a little expectation that I want to finish. I almost finished on the first round, so I was like, I created the expectation that I want to submit the fight, and I did it. And then at the end, I won the fight, but I wasn't happy. I wasn't enjoying, I wasn't enjoying because something on my mind was like, why you didn't finish the fight? Why did, shut the fuck up. And then when I saw the picture, like, not when I saw the picture, right after when I walk out, I was like, oh man, then I saw my friend there. I start hugging, start laughing, start enjoying, I start talking about the fight. So it's good. But then when I saw the picture, I didn't know it was that bad because my face was sad. And I was like, oh, man, that sucks, man. Why I was taken away from myself, And that's because we know our thoughts. Like, my goal is always like, when that happens, I try to analyze and just watch, just try to get, okay, the thought process is gonna pass it through, we have bunch of thought, a bunch of thinking that's not us. We think a bunch of stuff that it's bad, So if you do everything that we think, would be a killer sometime. Or the day I had a fight with my wife, I want to kill her. In my mind, But that's just a thinking. Yeah. That's just a thought. It's not me. It's not who I am. I love my wife. I love her, a bunch of respect, So I don't mean that, but something in your mind, like, sometimes just talks. And then you gotta understand, learning how to watch the fear before the fight. Everybody, it's not that you don't have fear. Yes, you do have fear, but what is the reality of that fear? What is is the fear real? It's real, or it's created by yourself, Oh, the guy is super strong and this and that. Okay, and then what? Okay, he's strong. Find a way to go around. Find a way to get there on the weak spot. So those are stuff just analyze, just to be able to sit back and watch your thoughts. That's all. I learned a lot of these in fighting as well.
Beautiful.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's great. Amazing. It's hard to get out of your own head, and it's hard to live in the moment, right? Yeah. To appreciate what's happening. And not maybe second guess, or like you said, you didn't meet those expectations. So what? You won. Mm-hmm. Your hand is raised at the end of the day. So.
Well, it's like
I was telling them celebrate the small victories.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I told 7 a.m. class. I tell all my guys every time they come training, man, you're a fucking champion. You already beat so many monsters under your bed. Oh, don't come. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I have to work after. Oh, I'm lazy. Bro, man, I call them morning warriors, because they're really warriors.
Yeah.
The guys that train. I have a couple of guys that came every day, every 7 a.m. They're there. I even make a joke. I have 2 guys that say, man, it's more you're gonna be here. It's more certain that you're gonna be here than I am. You know what I mean? My students, they are always there. I love it.
Yeah. Well, it's like what they say that we are our biggest advocates at the same time, the biggest obstacle.
We're our own worst enemy.
Right. We are our worst enemy. Right. Yeah. We can be very supportive of ourselves, but we can destroy ourselves to the ground just by thinking.
Yeah. You're alone with your thoughts a lot, and how you choose to think and analyze situations can be a great detriment.
This is why I never would want to go inside your head.
No, you don't want to be in there. There's too many voices in there. There's too many voices in there.
But that's the thing, with the fighting that we're talking about, living the moment. A fighting gonna bring you to the moment a lot of times.
Yeah.
I love yoga. You know, I do yoga every day in the morning. I like meditating, take my own time with myself. I like to do that a lot. But I because I fight to since such a young age, and then I found out yoga later, and then I understand what like a meditation, what that does, and I said, man, I do this in fighting. That happens to me fighting, you know,
Uh-huh.
training.
Yep.
Somebody's trying to choke you. You're in the moment, like you're not thinking like oh, what kind of bill do I have to pay? Like somebody, the only thing
Nope.
you want to survive and want to breathe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a meditation action, and then that's why fighting like a training is addicted as well.
Mm-hmm.
You see guys who is not like they don't want to be a professional fighter. They have like sometimes they don't even have the skill, but they are coming to the gym every day, every week they're there like getting beat up, but they love it, you know, because especially the world that we live today, we don't have so much activity. Activities are a great regulator of the hormones in our body. You know, regulates our mind, it regulates the stress. Somebody's stressed, they come to train. They live so happy. I have like that one of the the students I have it's a lawyer, and then sometimes they get beat up on the judge room.
Mm-hmm.
She comes trying to put the beat on other people, and she leaves like
Yeah, but I mean, you bring up a good point. I mean, like getting to the gym and working out is a lot, often, very often, is like get away, get away from the life. You know, forget about it. Nothing else matters. Doesn't matter how much money you make, what color you are, how smart you. None of this matters. You are here, you are now, and you have to figure this out. Otherwise, well, somebody's choking you out.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Another thing, another funny like we like stories, you know. And I had one guy that was like on the beginning of the pandemic. He was scared to be locked at home because he has a roommate that he doesn't get along. So he was to
Oh,
have to
yeah.
be in the room by himself most of the time, you know. And then he was, bro, I have to train. You know, here's the only place where I get a hug. I was like, what the fuck? Like, no, no, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, here's the only place that I get a hug. That's get a physical contact with people. That was like, because you know, for me it's crazy. Like
Yeah, I
especially
think
I'm a
we've talked about
Brazilian.
that
You know,
before.
our culture, like, bro, like we hang out. We call resenha. You know, after training, we
Hmm.
sit down and keep talking forever. Sometimes more than we did the train, and we go out and stuff. And then I have this American kid who doesn't communicate well, doesn't see people, lives with a roommate that he doesn't like it. He stays in his room all the time, and then he come to me like, "Oh, here's the first time." Like I choke for him is a hug. I was like, "Holy shit, man!" Like, yeah, bro, that's crazy, man. That's like about fight like a coach. You don't know, like when you teach as well, and you listen to the stuff, like, damn, man, like you make impact. It's nice as well because you make impact to other people's life, but it's so weird listening to those stuff. You know,
Hmm.
that's interesting for me.
I
Good
love
stuff.
it. I love it. It's awesome. All of this is so cool to hear. All the experiences, especially with the students. That's like mind blowing for me. Listen, we've been at this for for. I feel Gary. I feel like every episode gets longer and longer and longer.
This is a good one. This is
This just
in
get
there.
longer and longer. We have such a good conversations. Jay-Z, if anybody wants to talk to you, connect with you, are you on social media, websites? Where are you at? Like, talk a little bit more about that. Where can people find you?
Social media, Instagram is the easiest one for me. The at Gesias is Gesias. That's my name. I also have the name of the gym here. It can be at the Fight Sports Deerfield Beach. That's the gym. If you're ever in South Florida, that's where you can meet me. That's where you can come and train. I wish you guys come down some visit sometime. You know, and
Yeah, winter's
anyone that
coming.
comes here, you know, will be welcome.
Say okay. Oh, I missed the last part. What did you say last
I
part?
interrupted.
Oh.
Sorry. No, it's anybody coming
no.
down there, right? To
Yeah, you can, people want to come and train, always going to be welcome. Also, if you want to chat on the Instagram and Twitter at Gesias, I'm over there. So just stop by. It's a pleasure to see new people, to train, connect with other people.
Beautiful. Beautiful. We'll make sure to include all the links in the show notes as we always do. So if you want to catch up with Jay-Z, make sure you check those out. Make sure you connect with him. And if you are in South Florida, you're near Fort Lauderdale, right? Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
It's like 15 minutes north of Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, if you're nearby Fort Lauderdale, make sure you swing by and get some free hugs. Jay-Z's a master of giving out hugs.
Yeah, help his student out.
Three technical hugs.
Technical hug, that's it. All right. Well, let's wrap this up for today. What a great conversation. As always, I do appreciate you being here. Thanks for sharing your story, your knowledge, your experience. And as always, we'll be sitting on the sidelines and watching you do amazing things with your students at your academy and, everything that surrounds the martial arts.
Yeah, I'm surrounded the martial arts. I'm the next adventure I'm getting in, like I'm working as a manager. I work with the TGM management team, and I'm managing fighters as well. I started like this, managing my own fighters, and then one of the guys from the company saw me, bro, you know so many people, you're doing such a good job. Why don't you do this for a living with me? I was like, interest, let me see. And
Nice.
And I'm doing that, and also we've been doing good as well. That's also the connection with the CS MMA for the fighting. That's how it happened to put the combat grappling into the event. And I was was negotiating for one of the fighters, and they ended up getting my name on the mix to do grappling in the event. So I love that because I also advocate for the grappling sport in general.
Well, that's
Good
awesome.
stuff. Beautiful.
That's awesome. It's phenomenal.
All right.
I gotta check out that. Gary,
It's fun to watch, man. It's fun to watch.
You and I today.
Tonight?
Tonight.
Okay, but we have to have different partners. I'm not
No,
doing it with
no.
you.
You and me.
No,
We're doing Combat Jiu Jitsu tonight.
I can't slap my boss in the face. As much as I want to, as much as I would want to, I can't slap my boss in the face.
It might be fun.
It might be, but it's not going to happen.
All right, Jay-Z. Let's wrap this up. Thanks for being here. We'll see you around.
All right, man.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
One second.
What?
We're missing something.
What are we missing?
I gotta leave the question for the next guest.
Yeah, we'll get that off.
Pause
there.
it. We gotta
We're gonna
cut
get
it
that
right now. We
off.
can't do it on the
Yeah,
show.
We don't want them to hear it. Yes.
For the question, you gotta listen to the next
Good day.
episode.
All right. Peace.
Later.
All right. Later, guys.
Thank you for listening to Raw Radio. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave us a review and help us make the show even more amazing. For future episodes, check out our website and follow us on all major podcast platforms. Take care.